Hi there, it's Michael Pilarski with another video from Friends of the Trees Botanicals, and today's July 17th, 2023, and the growing season's going pretty good so far. And today we wanted to introduce Comfrey, Symphytum officinale in this case. Now, it's important to know that there's the Russian comfrey. Almost everything in the United States is Russian comfrey, which is a sterile hybrid between Symphytum officinale, this, and another one called Symphytum asper. So it's a sterile hybrid, does not make seeds. And so it's really hard to eradicate or get rid of comfrey once you've got it planted, because every piece of root will try to grow again. So they're difficult. So usually put them where you want them to be for a while. And the Russian comfrey doesn't spread by seed, so it stays in that place. It will, gophers will move root around. If you rototill around it, you'll move them around. But this one here will actually make seed. And we're going to look at a seed pod closely here. I'm going to have to take off the glove here. Okay. So the Symphytum officinale's difference from Russian comfrey is that the leaves are more linear, in terms of their wideness, and the flowers are more purple, whereas the Russian comfrey is more blue and with a bit wider leaves. That's how you can tell them apart at a glance. Now these right here have set seed, and there's the green seed in there. So the thing is that these after ripen nicely, so that's a good stage to actually pick that for a ripe seed. You have to, as soon as they get ripe, they fall out. So you actually only get to capture not the ripe seed, but the ones that are almost ripe or in their capsules, and then after ripen. So the way to get the seed is to cut the top at the right stage. This is maybe a bit on the early side. Waiting a week would be better, and then any time in a week or so you would cut them and put them on a tarp, and the seeds would after ripen and fall out. Nice black shiny seeds. Now the medicinal part of this is the root and the leaf, and the edible part are the flower clusters and small leaves. You can throw these in your salad. They're a bit on the hairy side, but if you throw enough other stuff in there, it's fine. I had a salad once that was half comfrey leaf and half catnip. I didn't know if it was actually going to be edible. I was served it by a friend. I never would have thought that up. But I ate it, and it went down. So, but at any rate, comfrey is really good to eat small bits of in your salad. It's really healthy. Comfrey is a very mineral-rich plant. It's one of the richest plants you can put in the garden in terms of gathering nutrients. It's a nutrient builder. What it does is it produces you might call it a slime. What do you call it? A mucilaginous substance that it exudes from its lower leaves and roots, and it sloughs it off. And it feeds bacteria like nobody's business, and earthworms. And it likes to make part of its roots rotten so that things can eat on it. So it enriches the web of life. So it's a very giving plant. It gives of itself and just keeps shoving things into the soil, and so the soil becomes really rich. And you can take some of that nutrients places by using it as a mulch plant, very commonly known as a mulch chop and drop plant in permaculture systems under fruit trees in different places. A hedgerow of it will be a good way to keep grass from invading. You see here we have grass on this side. The comfrey, if you get a nice stout row of it, it's hard for weeds to get through it. So you can use it as a weed barrier as well. The medicinal compounds are knit bone. It's called knit bone. So it's really good for broken bones, when you're healing up bones, tendons, ligaments, things like that. If you've got torn things and you need to rebuild them, comfrey is one of the things you take in that time period, not forever. It's also excellent poultice. You can put it on broken bones even, or if you can comfrey poultices every day, and that really speeded up his recovery. So it's quite a heroic herb in that sense of what it can do. And the root and the leaf are both used for those purposes, as a tea generally. So this is depending on what the market is. The market is in the leaves, and so selling somebody this stalk and these flower things, they're going to go, hey, where's the comfrey? So you can just reduce the stem. We usually actually do it after we dry it, but you can get product there and ship that, or use that for dryers. But to really satisfy your customers, you want lots of nice fat leaf. So I'm going to use my slasher and come in here, and the trick is how big a handful can you get at one time. I can look at that and say, hey, that's 100% good stuff. No weeds or grass or anything in there. And sometimes some of the lower leaves are substandard, so you have to take anything out that doesn't fit there. But at any rate, you get the idea. You can harvest 100 pounds of comfrey probably quicker than just about any other herb. If you've got 100 pounds in stock, big enough patch, 100 pounds would be a snap. We could have a contest. Okay.
And you can cut it all the way down and get multiple cuttings throughout the growing?
Yeah, let me demo how I would do that. I'll clean this up in a minute. So the harvest is complete when I pretty much take all the leaves, and I'm going to look like here's some nice one, there's a nice one. So even a lot of these lower ones are really nice. See, that's the next door plant. But here's the final result. All the leaves are off, and it will now regrow. And this is about how I would cut it. You could cut it even a little shorter, but that's good. You can see it exuding the what do they call that stuff? Some phytums. Anyway, there's a name for the juice in here. But anyway, it's coming. This will regrow. You can get 5 cuttings a year. I heard someone the other day, Narcissa, claimed that she had gotten 20 cuttings in 1 year from Comfrey. Maybe she cuts it really frequently, but I suppose you could call it that. But anyway, 20 cuttings in 1 year, and she uses it for mulch. So at any rate, beneficial for the soil, beneficial for mulch, beneficial for your body, and you don't want to take, what's the contraindications? If you have a damaged liver and liver problems, you should avoid it. If you have a compromised liver, I would say. I don't know how strong that is, but definitely that's what they say. And limit your intake. You should do research, but I'll give one quote from Jim Duke, foremost constituent person working for the U.S. government. And he said, well, yes, comfrey tea is poisonous. He says 100 cups of comfrey tea is equal to like a bottle of beer. So so it gives you an idea of the level of the poison nature of it. It's far, far less than beer. Okay, well, enjoy your beers and your comfrey tea out there.